coming right there.
Hey guys, this week we are going to talk about the new 507K with the Vulcan reticle. This is the Optic by Holosun, made for the subcompact pistols on the micro reflex footprint. You guys know the deal. My EDC pistol is a Glock 19 with a Holosun, an enclosed Holosun optic that's got the Vulcan reticle. I swear by that reticle. It is awesome. I think it should be on all combat pistols. But it doesn't fit on my subcompact pistol, what my wife calls my church pistol. I run it's a Glock 43X. A lot of people carry the SIG 365. Again, another awesome pistol, but those full-size optics don't fit on them. So what Holosun came out with is called the 507K. And it has that micro reflex footprint on it, much, much smaller, right? I've been running one of them for a while, all right? Again, this is my 43X. I had the slide cut specifically for it. And for a couple years, I've been running that 507K. And the only thing I've been missing is I really, really wanted that Vulcan reticle. And I miss my Vulcan reticle. It's been out for about a year now, all right? But Primary Arms now has Holosun making exclusively for Primary Arms the 507K and the micro reflex footprint with their Vulcan reticle. It's modified Vulcan reticle, but it's still the Vulcan reticle. Again, this will fit your SIG 365. It'll fit that your Glock 48, whatever pistols you're running like that. Decent stuff. If you're a red dot optic guy and you're just running a dot, you're used to people telling you that it's got 50,000 hours of battery life. You swap your battery out once a year, you're good. But a lot of that's marketing. Understand it doesn't usually last that long because you normally keep it at a higher setting. And if you don't use your pistol, you might get 50,000 hours. I definitely don't because my guns stay in use all day long. All right. This one, because of the Vulcan reticle in it, it does use more light. They're claiming you get 25,000 hours out of it. Now that must be on the insanely low level because I have not gotten 25,000 hours out of it. I've had to swap the battery, I think one time, and still going strong. Now, I want you to understand the reason why this thing eats batteries more, because battery life is a big thing for people that are gonna run optics. I got that. But one thing I will tell you that I like about the Holosun pistol optics is when the battery starts getting low, it'll blink every so many seconds. Where I see that in class all the time is, you come back, you're doing drills, all of a sudden it starts blinking. Okay, I'm good enough to get through lunch, and then during lunch, while the students are eating lunch, I can swap that battery out real quick. It's no big deal. It's not going to die on you unexpected, right? So they claim 25,000 hours. Nah, you're not looking at that. But again, you've got a choice. What I mean by that is multiple settings. The older 507K, you could choose between their little donut of death, kind of like an EOTech with the red dot in the middle, or you could run just the dot. And I like the Vulcan that's got the little chevron in the middle with that big circle on the outside. This one has a modified Vulcan. It's just a dot in the middle with a dotted line circle on the outside. But you have a choice. If you want battery life to be extended, you can go with just the dot. If you want to cut that battery life down a little bit, you can go with the outer circle and the dot. That's what I keep it on. To me, there'd be no other reason to buy it if you're going to just get the dot, buy the 507K and be happy with it. They do have shake awake, so if this is your bedside gun and you've got it sitting in the dresser, that home alarm goes off, whatever, you grab that pistol up. You don't have to worry about hitting buttons, turning it on like an EOTech. It automatically goes back to whatever setting that you had it left on before. They call it last setting recall. Okay, fine, whatever. Now, Unlike the old RMRs where you had to actually take the optic off of the gun to get to the battery, which is asinine. I don't know why anybody would do that. The battery compartment's on the side. It is a very small optic, but they still use a very robust battery. It's called a 1632. It is the same battery that I use in my adult 509 on my guns. All right, so I keep a bunch of these batteries already in my gun bag. I run them all the time. I still carry 2032s for everybody else on the planet that's running optics, but newer guns, especially pistol optics, they're running the 1632s. You can find them in all your Walmarts, Ace Hardwares, Home Depots. Everybody's got these batteries, right? Now, I mentioned it's got I wouldn't call it a low battery life, but a less of a battery life than just your simple dot optics. And that's because of that Vulcan reticle. Now, you guys have seen me do a whole, if you haven't seen it before, you can go back to our video archive and pull up our video specifically on the Vulcan reticle and the advantages of it. But basically what it boils down to is when you're shooting optic on a pistol, the biggest complaint people have is they can't find that dot. They can't get their head centered behind the dot, because when you're using a rifle, not only do you have that additional point of contact up here, you've also got the point of contact of your shoulder, but also that cheek rest that helps you center your eye behind the optic. So it's not hard to find that red dot on your rifle. With a pistol, you've got that single point of contact. Sometimes it's hard for people to find that dot. You hear them say in the shootouts, I can't find my dot, I can't find my dot. So the advantage of the Vulcan reticle is if your pistol is turned to where that red dot is not inside your field of view, that huge outer circle that is normally outside your field of view, you don't see it. You turn your pistol so that dot is outside your field of view. You see the curve of that circle. Whichever way the circle's curved, move the front of that gun in that direction. If you've seen the top of the circle, raise the front of the gun. If you're seeing the bottom of the circle, lower the front of the gun. It helps you find your dot very, very quickly. Now, one thing they modified, because this is a smaller footprint, and to give you longer battery life, they got rid of the chevron that we've learned to love. They've got a small little dot in the center, and then the outer circle, instead of them making it one solid ring, it has got little dashes that run around. That's cutting down on the amount of light that the emitter's having to put out. Decent. I still wish they could have squeezed the original Vulcan reticle in here. I understand why they did it. It works good enough for my church gun. Now, the only real disadvantage that I find for this optic at all, it has nothing to do really with the reticle. It's because it's the 507, and the 507 has an exposed emitter in the back. A lot of people don't care about it on their guns. They're running RMRs, and that's fine because nobody goes to the range except on a nice day. My world, you gotta remember, I'm a retired Green Beret. I did 25 years. All of our combat ops, most of them were in the dark, but they were in dusty environments, rainy environments, snowy environments. And if you have an exposed emitter, like some of our first rifle optics had, you get one snowflake that comes down, one chunk of mud, raindrop, anything like that comes down and hits, you can no longer see the dot coming out. And that's why we went to enclosed emitters on our rifles back in the late 90s, EOTech, Aimpoint, stuff like that. And that's why you'll see almost all the companies that make optics for pistols now make pistol optics that have an enclosed emitter. So that's my only weakness on this thing right now. I heard Holosun has out a enclosed optic on the micro reflex footprint, okay, but it doesn't have the Vulcan reticle in it yet, so I don't want it. All right, I've put tons of ammo through this thing, very, very reliable. Again, for a backup like your SIG 365 or this Glock 43X, your Glock 48, whatever you're running as that concealed carry pistol. If you're going to run a micro compact pistol, you're going to want to run a dot. And if I'm running a dot, I'm going to run one with the Vulcan reticle in it. So yeah, for me, the Holosun 507K with the Vulcan reticle in it, right now it is the best optic out for this micro compact pistol. Anyways, that's all I got. I'm sure everybody's got their opinions on how you don't need the Vulcan reticle. You're awesome doing pew pew. I got that. Leave your comments below. I read them all. I don't always answer them, but I do read them. And you guys know the deal. Take care and shoot straight. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you don't miss out on anything.